Hey everybody, Chris Godfrey here. I'm all set to count down this week's 40 most played country songs in the USA as they're ranked by MediaBase 24/7 for the chart week of May 18th, 2024. Before I start counting down this week's biggest hits, let's take a moment to look back at last week's top three. Number 3 was Tucson Too Late by Jordan Davis. Number 2 was Back Then Right Now by Tyler Hubbard. And the number 1 song last week was Wildflowers and Wild Horses by Lainey Wilson. Now, where will Lainey be at on this week's countdown? We'll find out soon. First, we'll get started with the latest by the Zac Brown Band. They slip a notch to number 40 with Tie Up. And here's a re-entry on this week's chart. Back in the countdown after a few weeks out are Dylan Marlowe and Dylan Scott. It's Marlowe's first top 40 hit and Dylan Scott's 8th. In at number 39, here's Boys Back Home. And with that one re-entry, one song is out this week, and that's Cabin Solo by Scotty McCreery. Moving on with the countdown, up 2 spots to number 38 is Matt Stale with Breaking in Boots. At number 37, moving up 1, George Burge with Cowboy Songs. Easing down a notch to 36, here's Tyler Childers with In Your Love. Moving up 1 to 35, here's Chris Lane with Find Another Bar. Holding steady at number 34 this week, here's Dierks Bentley and American Girl. Leaping 4 spots to number 33, it's Dasha with Austin. Inching up 1 to number 32, Luke Bryan with Love You, Miss You, Mean It. And inching up 1 to number 31, 9th week in the countdown, here's Zach Top with Sounds Like the Radio. And in our 10th week in the countdown, they move up 1 to number 30, Dan and Shay with Bigger Houses. Inching up 1 to number 29 is Brett Young with Dance With You. Easing down a notch to number 28 is Dylan Carmichael with Drinking Problems. Moving up 2 spots to 27 is Justin Moore with This Is My Dirt. Up 2 spots to number 26, Keith Urban with Messed Up As Me. Inching up 1 to number 25, Parmalee with Gonna Love You. At number 24, moving up 1, it's Garth Brooks and Ronnie Dunn with Rodeo Man. Holding position at number 23 this week, Tim McGraw with One Bad Habit. Leaping 2 spots to number 22, it's Morgan Wallen and Ernest with Cowgirls. And moving up 1 to number 21 this week, Dustin Lynch and Jelly Roll with Chevrolet. All right, into the second half of the countdown, here's last week's number 1, tumbling to number 20, Lainey Wilson with Wildflowers and Wild Horses. Leaping 2 spots to number 19 is Drew Baldridge with She's Somebody's Daughter. Moving up 2 spots to 18, Old Dominion and Megan Moroney with Can't Break Up Now. Well, Megan Moroney's up again here at number 17. She climbs 1 this week with I'm Not Pretty. At number 16 for a third week, Chase Matthew with Love You Again. Leaping 4 spots to number 15 is Cody Johnson with Dirt Cheap. At number 14 for a second week, Nate Smith with Bulletproof. At number 13, up 2 spots, Chris Young with Young Love and Saturday Nights. Inching up 1 to number 12, Brian Martin with We Ride. And slipping a notch to 11 is Carly Pearce and Chris Stapleton and We Don't Fight Anymore. Right into the top 10, down a spot to number 10, the former number 1 hit by Warren Ziders, called Pretty Little Poison. Well, it took 55 weeks for Jackson Dean to reach the top 10 this week as he moves up 2 spots to number 9. This becomes his second top 10 hit, called Fearless, The Echo. And leaping 4 spots this week to number 8, collecting his 38th top 10 hit, is Jason Aldean with Let Your Boys Be Country. At number 7, moving up 1, is Ashley Cook with Your Place. At number 6, moving up 1, Kenny Chesney and Take Her Home. At number 5, again this week, here is Sam Hunt with his recent number 1 hit, Outskirts. Leaping 2 spots to number 4 is Jelly Roll with Halfway to Hell. At number 3, inching up 1, Bailey Zimmerman and Where It Ends. The second most played song this week for another week, it's Tyler Hubbard with Back Then, Right Now. And the number 1 song in country music this week, taking 31 weeks to get here, climbing 2 spots this week. This becomes his 7th number 1 country hit. It's Jordan Davis with Tucson Too Late. And that is our countdown of the 40 most played country hits this week. Join me again next week. We'll count them down once again and find out who's got the number 1 song in the USA.